Good morning. It is Tuesday, the 8th of July, which means we were 13 weeks out from the first competition a few days ago. It was Saturday. And some big movements have been going down this week, I'll tell you that. Started the week off at high 119s last week. I'm now weighed in at 117 this week, today. A couple of changes have been made, slight drop in carbohydrates, and 30 micrograms of clenbuterol has been put in, which for me, I know always has a massive effect on me. I'm quite a fidgety person anyway, so I move quite a lot. So when that gets deployed, no matter how low dose it is, it always just gets things moving at a really quick rate. So over 2 kilos have been lost this week, and I can see it in the physique big time, which is very exciting. Waist coming in a lot tighter, legs looking very dry, vacuum getting a lot tighter, which obviously I'm practicing a lot. So we'll take you through today, which is going to be a push down. I'm actually going to run you through my whole push session and do a little voiceover, which I know you like, talking through the exercises, and we shall go from there. So very happy with how prep's gone so far. I'm in a very calm mind space. You know, I'm not putting too much pressure on myself this year. I wasn't putting too much pressure on myself last year, but it was my first time competing in classic physique. So, you know, there were some nerves involved, and also not knowing really what to expect, and also just not being experienced enough, especially with the posing. Whereas this year, I feel a lot more confident in my abilities and a lot more confident in the physique I'm bringing, which goes a long way. When you're confident, you're calm. And also, I don't have too much pressure. You know, when going for pro qualifiers, obviously the goal is to turn pro. But other than the weight cap increase that I get, I'm not too, you know, obviously it's my goal, right? You get that status of being an IFBB pro, which is cool. It's what everyone wants to work towards, right? To be a professional bodybuilder, if you're a competitive bodybuilder. An IFBB pro, that is the goal, right? But every pro that I've spoken to has said, enjoy being an amateur. Appreciate it, because when I turn up to an amateur show, where I am right now, I'm a high level amateur, I go in pretty fucking confident. Like, you know, I'm gonna be in the run-ins here. I'm gonna be going for the win. If not, I should fucking hope I get a placing with the physique I'm bringing. You know, so there's that level of confidence there, and that, you know, it should be appreciate that, because as soon as you turn pro, I'm the shit, you know, you're shit. You get a pro card, you're then the shit is pro. It's a lot of fucking work to go from that to being a competitive, professional, classic bodybuilder. It is ridiculous. You turning pro means you were the best amateur on the day. You're still really an amateur, okay? So the gap between that and a competitive pro is ridiculous. It's years of work before you even get a look in, more than likely. Now, not always the case. What I'm gonna do is when I turn pro, not probably, I will be doing a year off. So I'll take the following year off competing to grow and come back the following year. And I would hope to at least get a look in then, but even then, it's not guaranteed. Some of those boys are open bodybuilders with a weight cap at the end of the day. So appreciate it, because as soon as you turn pro, what changes? I wake up and I can stick it in my fucking Instagram bio. Fuck who else changes. I wake up, I get back to work. My coaching doesn't change. Where I live doesn't change. My income doesn't change. You might get better opportunities with sponsors and whatnot, but you know, those days aren't as, those days are over really. I've already got sponsors. It's not really based on whether you're a pro or not. It's based on your engagement and what you can bring to the company. And I bring a lot because I've got a lot of clients and loyal followers. But with that being said, having that realization of, wow, I don't need this. I fucking want it, don't get me wrong, the hunger is there. The hunger is very much there, and it's something I've been working towards every day of my life for years. But I'm not gonna wreck my head over it, like, God, if I don't turn pro this year, my life's over. It's not like that. What changes? Get back to work. You know, I'll be close to the weight cap, but you can make this weight look even better. You can always be leaner, you can always be denser. And having that realization makes me very calm. I know I'm gonna come and turn up way fucking better than last year, because my photos and my physique this far out this year is far superior to where I was last year. And I didn't hate the way I looked on stage. I think I was pretty competitive. You know, came second in the pro qualifier at the British finals, who went on to win his card, and then came second in the pro show. So, you know, I don't think it was too far off each other. You know, I think I probably won a few shots there. One condition, he obviously just was, I guess, more aesthetic, and he looked amazing, to be fair. I'm not taking that away from him. I'm just saying I think it was close, which is reassuring to myself. So, back to the grind, not back. It's never off. I can never say back to the grind because we're grinding every fucking day. Back to business. What is back to business? It's business, 7 days a fucking week, 365, straight off stage. Where the day after I competed, we were in training legs. No days off, motherfuckers. All right, anyway, waffling now. Trying to take up some time whilst doing this incline fucking walk. So I'll get to my routine, which is cardio, planks. I do a bit of hanging, try and stretch out the old spine, and posing. And then it's check-ins, then we'll do push. And that's a wrap, all right? So, meal 1, meal 2 done, check-ins done, got a couple setups to do later, which I'm excited to get into. It is now 11 a.m. and I'm just going to run through with you my cycle, what everyone wants to know, right? So, this week I just deployed 30 mcg of Clen, and that's the first time taking it this prep. Now, I had discussions with Kuba about how Kuba's my coach, about how to run this prep, and a request that I have made, and that is running a higher testosterone prep. Now, this isn't set in stone and it's not 100% going to be going down, but it's in play right now. Why is this? Now, Me personally, I'm a very grainy, hard, dry individual. Even throughout the off season, I've got leg veins. I never have that softness. Like some people who like get fat and they got like a soft midsection, you can like grab a soft hips and that. No matter how fat I get, it's hard. It's just tissue. I don't know how to explain it. Everything about me is just hard. Not the end of prep, let me tell you that. Anyways, but you know what I'm saying. I'm just a dry. I don't hold much water retention. So my point being, when I get to the end of prep, and last time we didn't go above 300 milligrams of test throughout the whole of prep, but we obviously ran high DHT to obviously kill the estrogen. Not kill it, but bring the estrogen real low to make me super dry. But in my personal opinion, I don't need that because I'm like that anyway. I need fullness. I need a pop to my physique. I feel like there's two different types of physiques. One is hard, sharp, freaky, grainy, runs the risk of running flat. Me, okay? And then there is the softer individual, which is very bubbly, quite pleasing to look at, round muscle bellies, but finds it very hard to get real crispy, grain. That's not me, okay? But I want to have a combination of both of those. And with the levels of condition that I will be bringing, I won't have an issue being grainy. So I wanted to run a higher testosterone approach. If you've ever done this, you just, whatever it is, a bit of water retention or whatever, I just feel way fuller when I run high test. And I feel like I just wanted to try it. Me personally, when I've done since starting bodybuilding, I've never coached myself. Obviously, coached myself for a long period of time, but since compared to bodybuilding and actually running gear, I've always had a coach. So I've never had the time to experiment, and I just want to experiment, right? And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. So right now, the cycle started, which was 6 weeks ago. We started in at 300 milligrams of test, 200 mass and 800 milligram of primo. Okay, that was where we started. Each week it's kind of bumped up 50 milligrams of test just to kind of test my aromatization, see if I'm getting any, because I have a bit of gyno that I will be getting seen to after the season, so I don't want that to get any worse, but it's not too bad. But anyways, I haven't had any symptoms, and we've worked it up now 6 weeks later to 500 milligrams of test, 300 mass and a gram of primo. Now, do I need to say this? Surely my listeners aren't fucking stupid. If you think, oh, I take this, I will get I'll look like Joe, whatever. It's not the case. This has been worked up over years. I'm 120 kilograms lean. Well, I'm 117 now, but 117 kilograms of lean, dense tissue. Years in the game, chasing my IFBB Pro card very close. So it's all relevant to me. Some people might be doing higher than this. A lot of people doing a lot higher than this. Some people doing less than this. It's all dependent on your needs. So don't go copying this shit because if you're new to bodybuilding, you're doing this cycle, you're stupid. So it all has a purpose. It all has a need. Growth hormone is at 10 IU pre-bed right now. I will be experimenting with bringing this out towards the end to drop water retention to make weight, most likely. And I do feel like sometimes it holds a little bit of inflammation in my midsection, but the fullness it gives and the recovery, especially through prep and the benefits of sleep, do wonders. T4 is at 150, okay, mcg, and T3 is at 25, and that is it. Oh, Lantus 10 IU with my first meal. That's kind of because of I'm taking so much GH, taking 10 IU of GH is going to kind of bring down your insulin sensitivity. I don't know, this might come out towards the end, we'll see. Then the progressions will pretty much be the primo and the mast will stay the same, so a gram of primo, 300 mast, and then along the coming weeks I will get that test up to 700, so I'll be actually sat at about 2 grams, which is pretty fucking, I was about to say healthy cycle, pretty juicy, right? And I'm excited. This is probably the most I've done with injectables. Obviously, when you start bringing in orals, it's a different story, because the orals, people just fucking underestimate how much orals are. Like, you know, if you're taking, you don't realise how much it creeps up. Like, if you're taking 50 Anavar a day, which is just standard, and people take a lot more than that, 50 times 7, do I need to, why did I even need to fucking calculate that? 350, so that's 350 milligram. On top of that, then you might be taking, I don't know, 25 Winstrol, which is another 175, so that's like 500 milligrams straight onto your dose. Then, you know, some other bits. I won't be needing or touching those quite till the end, to be honest. Last time I don't think we brought Anavar in until maybe 5-6 weeks out, and Winstrol came in 2 weeks out, and that was all I used. I used Anadrol on the Milan show and the British finals the day before and the day of. I won't probably use Anadrol again. I found it actually maybe a bit watery. Just had this film of water over me. I prefer Superdrol. But honestly, my favourite oral, if we're going to be talking about gear, is definitely Winstrol. Anavar's great because it's kind of, you know, dare I say harmless. It's definitely not fucking harmless. I'll go on to another point in a second after this. It's not harmless, it's probably just like, you know, the most mild. Yeah, I actually feel fucking so much fuller on it. But Winstrol just has this nutty effect. Now, this is a lesson to the young lads watching this who are natural. I've had a handful of clients, new clients, lads, naturals, and they've had blood work done, right? Because they feel like shit, they look like shit, they can't train, their sleep's shit, they're fucking 23 years old with no sex drive. Get them to do blood work, and they got 3 nanomoles a test, 9 nanomoles a test, 5 nanomoles a test. Oh, have you ever done a cycle before? Yeah, I did an 8-week course of Anavar before a holiday 5 years ago, and they've been shut down ever since. Or I've done a 12-week test course, you know, 10 years ago, and it's, you know, your testosterone's fucked for the rest of your life. This is the one thing that people don't talk about. Everyone always talks about the health risks, which there are health risks, especially when you're competitive bodybuilding, right? But luckily we do everything right. I spend hundreds of pounds on health supplements, and I get blood work all the time. But what people don't talk about is this, shutting your testosterone down. If you start gear, you want to say to yourself, I am on gear for the next 10 years. I want to make something of it. I want to become a bodybuilder. I want to make something from taking this risk. Okay? Otherwise, I don't think it's worth it. Shutting down your natural testosterone for it. Some people get lucky. They might run gear for 10 years. Yeah? And they come off, and 6 months later they're back to almost normal. Will they ever go back to what they were before? No, most likely not. That is quite rare, okay? The vast majority, it takes you over a year to get back to semi-normal levels, to the point where you don't feel depressed and you can actually want to train again. But the third option is they never come back. You do a fucking 12-week course of testosterone when you're 21 to look good for Ibiza, and you got no fucking testosterone for the rest of your life. How does that sound? Not good. So think about the decision wisely. I'm not against it. I'm just against people making rash decisions when they haven't thought that out properly. Because everyone's reckless, me the same. When I was young, luckily I wasn't getting involved with gear and that when I was 18, 21. I was too busy drinking and chasing women. So take of that what you want. Still not good for you, but at least I didn't do shit like this. But I was reckless. I didn't care about my health. I did anything, anytime I wanted, right? With no thought of myself or my health. So when you're 18, you're not thinking about, in 50 years time, I might shave 5 years off my life. No, you're not thinking about that. You don't give a shit. But what you should give a shit about is coming off and you can't get a boner, you can't shag your girlfriend, and you're fucking losing your hair, you're getting acne, you're getting gyno. Okay, these are the things you want to be thinking about, not your health. Well, you do want to be thinking about your health, but people don't care about that. So think about the things that actually will directly affect your life day to day. Okay? Lesson to the kids.